Hi, everybody. Ooh, how's it going? Bring you down a little bit. What up, world? How's it going? Happy Wednesday. Video this week was a little short, but that's because I just had something very specific I wanted to say. And if you watched it, you know what it was. Reality is not a right-wing thing. Nope, nope, nope. I have been, worried for years about how they've been setting that up. Because eventually all this trans stuff is going to fall away. Eventually it will, because reality does not change. Like you can't, So the right wing are set up to win this argument, and that's worrisome. That's not cool. I refuse to sit by and let the right wing take credit for reality. Nope. Not while I'm around. So, yeah, that was the theme of this week's video, and it was something very specific that I did want to say. It's an idea that's sort of been haunting me the last 2 or 3 weeks since somebody said that in the comments. Oh, thank you for the like. Hey, what's up, somebody? Happy Wednesday. But yeah, that idea had been haunting me for the last couple of weeks. What up, Scott? That's cool. You didn't miss much. I was just sort of rehashing the theme from this week's video, which you saw, right? So, what up, geek girl? Hey. So, yeah, we were a little short on the video this week, but that's because I wanted to say that one specific thing, and I went looking specifically for a clip that would let me say that one specific thing. Which is that, reality is not right wing. That is not cool. I hate the way they've been setting up that messaging. That's been worrying me for years. Actually, and like all the gender critical shit like got absorbed into the right wing. Both, the right wing were happy to have us, and the left were perfectly happy to write us off that way. And I'm just like, because eventually the truth will out. And the truth is not a right wing thing. No, fuck those guys. They can't have that. No, not while I'm around. That's really starting to upset me because it's getting closer and closer to like becoming a reality. What up, Philological? How you doing? You at the airport? A lot of left-leaning people are also troubled by the current gender climate. It's not just conservative people. No, I know. That's what I'm saying. This is not a left-right issue. It's not. And they have tried to make it that way so that when it eventually falls apart, inevitably, the right wing can claim that. I'm waiting at the airport terminal for my flight. We vibing. Rock and roll. Airport terminals are so fun, right? So much fun. Oh, I'm glad to be able to keep you company in an environment like that. You can sit and look at, the leaves and the sunshine. I bought a couple of tourist shirts because I'm a sucker who loves Belfast. Aw, that's awesome. Supposedly some of those profits probably go to the city. Hopefully. I frequently get told I'm not left and that I'm an evangelical Trumper. Right. People can assume that I'm conservative all the time. It happened to me in real life the other day, actually, when I met my mother's new boyfriend. What up, big plans? Long time no see. How you doing? You should look at what Bob Avakian says about wokeness. He calls it a form of insanity and a complete distraction from more important issues. I mean, yeah, but I feel like harping on that point too much is just sort of feeding the beast, I'm not making my brand about that. That is not my main point. That's one of those things I'm just kind of leaving as assumed, frankly. So I do touch upon it every now and again, but like, well, yeah. But that was the kind of thing that, that was revolutionary 5 years ago. I mean, I hate to say that's so 5 years ago, but yeah, kind of. Like, Magdalene Burns was saying that, I think. Like, this has been, and how it functions like a religion is well established. Like, this is not. Oh, I'm pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. This week's video was a little short because I had one very specific thing I wanted to say, which if you watch it, hopefully it's very evident what that is. And the second draft of my book is underway. I got 35 pages into that damn manuscript last week. And I'm going to start back there this week. And yeah, we're chugging along. So, yeah, and I don't know, that whole wokeness thing, like, words are great because sometimes being able to isolate something and name it, enables you to then deal with whatever that is, right? In a more focused way. But on the other hand, sometimes these words become so thoroughly, strongly defined. I don't know. I don't want to say tainted, but it's sort of like that, where like you cannot use that word in a generic, unbiased sort of way anymore. Yeah, I've watched Magdalene Burns' video. She gave a very searing indictment of the U.S. in one of them. Oh, I'm sure. It's been a few years since I watched any of her stuff. I loved her to death. I love her to death. I do. I hate to say it that way. Why the fuck did I say that? What is wrong with me? I love Magdalene Burns to the ends of the earth very much. But it's so sad. I can't. It makes me just want to cry to this day. So, consider that a Freudian slip, I guess. I just can't get over that. I kind of assumed everyone knew the difference between sex and gender. Right? That's one of the things I was sort of referencing, is that anyone who's more than 20 years old understands that those two things were used as synonyms forever. And this is, sort of an interesting new level of discourse. And like, can we talk about it that way? Can we talk about it as roles versus biology? No, we're not even, no. It's so stupid how they're using this to reinforce the old shit. I mean, it's not stupid, but it's very aggravating. Makes me feel stupid. I'm like, She was a very special lady, very smart, very knowledgeable, very on point. Right, exactly. She knew exactly what she wanted to say, and she said it well. And there's something very admirable about that from anybody, right? And I agree with everything I ever heard her say, too. So that helps a lot. And, as a not lesbian, I hesitate to call myself a straight lady because I'm not that either. But as a not lesbian, as not a lesbian, I thought it was really great to have, a lesbian out there being, from that perspective. I felt that was really strong, but she was literally my first foray into all of this. But that was definitely a pro for me, It's frankly not a perspective I get to hear a lot anymore. So, that might have been part of it. I used to have many friends. Once upon a time. Before I moved out here in the sticks and, was mom all the time. Yeah, it's okay. I have you guys. This is fun. This is fun. Like, no joke. And it's a beautiful day. I made myself sad. Which I should not do because I'm supposed to be angry, right? We're talking about the right wing taking credit for reality, which is an aggravating prospect, right? I certainly don't want that. They can have, their thing that they do, their interpretation of reality, and that's fine. But biological reproductive sex is just generic. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a right-wing talking point. That's not fair. No. You want to talk about any level of interpretation of that? Fine. It is fun. A regular chill point in my week. Thanks for hosting it. No worries. I'm having a good time. I made myself sad. That's all. This place, I don't want to endorse them. I don't want to not endorse them. But like a large or a small, you get one shot of espresso. And I just thought, yeah, I'd like two, please, first of all. And secondly, I don't know. I feel like if you order a larger coffee, you expect there to be more caffeine in it. And if you order a smaller coffee, you expect there to be maybe less caffeine in it. Jesse and Nina are two lesbian women who give strong criticism of today's gender climate. Their YouTube channel is The Panic Button, and they're hilarious. Yeah. I've seen some of their stuff. Okay. And see, like, a lot of the stuff I watch that I enjoy, I don't necessarily comment on in my videos because I don't have anything to add. Like, I'm just, 2 shots is the standard. That's weird. Thank you. And I got to turn to my 16-year-old son and be like, yeah. And I explained to him what espresso ground is and, like, what, why it's called that and whatever. Well, I don't know where the name comes from, but, it's the finest ground of the. I'm like, that's what I buy at home. And he goes, oh, my God, I am so spoiled. I'm like, yeah. I did work in a coffee shop for a little while at one point. I do have some idea what the heck I'm talking about. I don't drink espresso, even though it all began here in Washington State. Yeah. Well, more for me. I don't know. What's up? I'm on camera, buddy. What's going on? What is it? That gate's broken. Please just tell me what it is, honey. Don't touch that wire. God, don't touch that wire.
Well,
Baby boy.
I don't know how to explain it.
Well, please go try and explain it to your brother. What is he doing?
He's on his video.
Uh-huh. Go. He knows he's supposed to be watching you while I am on the camera. Ugh. I think it might be getting a little warm out here. Please excuse my hair. Oh, gosh. The sun came out. No one watched me play with my hair. That's why you tuned in, right? I know the man who brought it all back. It brought it all in Seattle back in 1980. I remember when it all began. He got the idea when visiting Italy and brought it to Seattle. That's solid, obviously. And I was born in 1983, so I have never known a world in America without espresso. Looks like we lost a couple of people. Boo. I mean, it's true. Y'all didn't tune in here to see me mess with my hair. Yep. 83. Mm-hmm. Oh, I think you're close in age to my sister. Yeah. I remember the pre-espresso days very well. Well, that's just sad. But, I guess thank you for explaining why those dudes, like, in all those old movies, their cup of joe is never, ever, ever an espresso, is it? Ever, ever, ever. One does sort of wonder about that. I don't know. But so, have you seen Hudson Hawk? Begs the question because we literally just watched that the other day, and that movie is all about Italy and coffee. So, 1983 was when War Games and Return of the Jedi came out in theaters. Yep. And the biggest hit that year was Billie Jean. I know. Yeah. I'm fairly up on my cultural lore, generally speaking. No, I haven't seen that movie. Scott. Well, great movie. Yeah, right? That is a great movie. We watched that the other night, me and the kids and the man. It's one of our group favorites, you know what I mean? And Scott, honey, you are in for a treat, okay? It is. No, Billie Jean, the song. The Michael Jackson song was the biggest hit song in 83. Ah. And the one in 84 was Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And I know that because I have a lot of friends who were born that year. Being one of the older kids in the grade and all that. Carry moonbeams home in a jar. Yeah, absolutely. Love it. I watched Godzilla -1 this week. It came to Voodoo Fandango this week. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, gosh. Where did we watch? We might have watched Hudson Hawk on a DVD. So I'm not precisely sure where to tell you to find that one. Yeah, Cyndi Lauper is fun, right? And then how Madonna came along and just, I cannot not think of that. Like how Madonna came along and completely cloned her look and her sound. Like a couple of Madonna's early songs sound like Cyndi Lauper is fucking singing them. And you're just like, girl, it's one thing to ape somebody's style of dress and whatever, and like musical style even. But like to ape her voice like that's really something, right? Oh. So the early 80s were like fun as far as pop music is concerned, but again, I don't really remember that so much as I've read about it. Madonna had little originality and like still does. You know, it's one thing to be Machiavellian like that at the beginning when you're trying to claw your way up from nothing, but like 5 years later when she was one of the biggest stars in the world, there's still nothing there, and it's sad. But again, such is the state of pop music, I guess. I don't know. 'Tis an industry, right? 'Tis an industry. Gosh, don't I know? Ooh, that was my big dream growing up. So that's one of the things, and not to brag, but like I can sing better than she can. That's just a fact. Madonna is not the strongest singer in the world. But damn, if she's not famous for it, you know, and that as somebody who actually worked to build that as a skill is kind of like, there's nothing about you that's not aggravating. I just, you know. That's okay. It was very not like other girls, too, you know, because I was the rocker chick. It's very. There's a lot to unpack there. Dance music was her thing. That was what she was reasonably good at. Madonna, yeah. Well, and again, you don't need to be a strong singer to make good dance music, do you? Because that's not what it's about. Pop music sometimes, you know, having a strong voice is really an asset. You know, it's one of the things that maybe distinguishes them as genres. Again, I could go on and on and on about this kind of stuff because this is classic. This is classic for me. This is what I was talking about at 20. You know, this is what I was into 20 years ago. But yeah, I don't know. I just heard somebody say something about an AI bot that had decided to begin aging and had a birthday to turn 20 years old. And he was like, you should stop there because I'll tell you, it doesn't get any better after that. And I'm like, for you, maybe. I don't know about that. I don't. I just genuinely don't know about that. I cannot say that my life has not improved in the last 20 years because that would be a lie. All right. Has it been easy? Fuck no. Is it easy? Fuck no. Generally speaking, though, that gnawing internal sense of malaise is much less, you know? I heard Cyndi Lauper's Girls Want to Have Fun during my visit to Ocean Shores back in early 1984 on the Aberdeen station. Nice. You remember the first time you heard that song? Damn, you got some kind of memory, man. Whoa, I made a live chat for once. Hello, y'all. What up, kitty? How's your Wednesday going? I'm doing well, and that's like what I was just saying. It's like I heard somebody earlier say something about how life doesn't get better after 20, and like I just cannot agree with that. I know that's a popular assessment, and I referenced that in my video, something about how I'm not such a victim of the cult of youth. And I wish I had said it more clearly, honestly. I was pissed yesterday. Oh, I could tell y'all. Oh my God. But I am not such a victim of the cult of youth that I'm not going to raise my hand and say, wait a minute, I'm old enough to know better than this. Aberdeen, Washington, which used to be the lumber capital of Washington State. Right on. It breaks my heart when I hear someone say it's all downhill past 30. Yeah, again, I just cannot agree with that. Like, for you, maybe, please don't project that onto the entire human race. I feel like that's kind of irresponsible and self-centered and just, that's been your experience. I'm sorry for that. That's off. That's terrible. To peak at 20 and live for another 68 years or so. But that's not been my experience so far. You know, and I'm not really worried about peak. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Overall, that sense of just gnawing existential pointlessness, like not even dread, just that thing where like nothing you do matters. That's abated a lot for me. That helps a lot. You know, when I wake up in the morning and I remember why. For fuck's sake, leaving my 20s was the best thing that's ever happened to me. Yeah, right. Yeah, and that's, there is a big, I call it the cult of youth. And I say that sort of tongue in cheek, but I'm referencing like Roman cults, you know, like Roman mystery cults, the way that in that society, apparently everyone basically was a member of one or another, you know, and they informed your lifestyle and which gods you worshipped and whatever, right? I don't know. It seems like we still do that. We just call it different things. And like literally, there's a cult of youth, especially in this country, for sure. I can't speak necessarily to other places. I hear it gets around though. Where, yeah, I think, for one thing, women, especially around my age, tend to hesitate to raise their hand and say, wait a minute, I'm old enough to know better than this. This is not, no. The rewriting of the past has happened in, you know, through media so many times over now. My 20s are almost over and they've been great, but I'm hoping my 30s will be even better. Exactly. And I can think of no reason not to suggest, like, is life easy? No. Does it get better? Yeah, if you work at it. Yeah, it does. Absolutely. The cult of idol worship. Yeah, right. And I think that might be a general term. I don't know. Like, each cult has various idols. You know, like obviously Kim Kardashian is an idol of the cult of youth. Right? You want to look at it like that? And she's totally fine with that. Like, and, you know, personally, I think that cult's destructive. But maybe it's just a natural function of the human psyche to do these things. I don't know. Oh, the thing just told me we're going to get an ad in 60 seconds. So thank you in advance. Anybody who has to sit through that. Every little bit counts. Thank you. Yes, my 30s were a happy time. Experts who studied it have concluded that the age when adults, feel happiest is 35. Ooh, again, personally, that was a hard spot for me. My late 30s were a hard spot for me, but kind of celebrity idol worship is a cult. Yeah. Right, yeah, is part of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's an overarching thing, and they're a big part of how it functions, I guess. And like, I don't know. I don't think we like to think about how powerful sometimes the, you know, media can be to your psyche, right? Where you sit there to be, you know, yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you. I don't know. You sit there to be relaxed and entertained, right? But then whatever messaging, and there is some, because that's what storytelling is. The subtext is going to be there. That is just how that works. A second ad interruption. I am sorry. already. Yeah, it's so funny. They're milking these for all they're worth, aren't they? When they did not even. Okay, get this. You want a little story? Here's one regarding the channel. We tried to put some money on one of the videos the other day. We're actually promoting stuff now. Yay, that's exciting. And they disavowed it. They disallowed it, whatever it is. They denied it because, what up, Mecca? How you doing? You'll like this. They denied one of my promotions up to promote one of my videos. The first one we tried. The Where's My Sandwich? I don't know if you saw that one. I think you'd like it. It's snappy. But like, because referencing their policy about United States election ads, and I'm just like, I went and I read it, and it said, you're not allowed to reference or show anyone who's running for office. I'm like, is Benny Johnson running for something, and I just missed all that? Like, if he's running for something, he's hiding it well. It's not how you're supposed to do that, Benny. I'm menstruating, which is exhausting, but otherwise doing well. Right on. I'm sorry to hear that. Sit out here in the sun with me, I guess. Enjoy the pretty day. Maybe that'll help relax you a little bit. The early 1980s also had a lot of gender bending and gender fluidity. Yeah, right. Yeah, looking at parenting stuff from when I was a kid is wild for various reasons. That being one of them, it is there was actually a pretty strong focus for a while on raising kids in a gender neutral sort of a way. So that's kind of interesting. I think that peaked actually right before I came along, but it was definitely a thing. Which, like, I don't know, that peaking in the 70s almost looks like the boomers just didn't want to be bothered trying to figure out what sex their kids were. Like, I'm sorry. Those are also the people that made Grease a hit, so I just wonder a little bit about what was going on there. Nostalgia and cocaine are a potent mix, apparently. Men would never be able to handle the pain and stresses from menstruation. No, I agree. It's known fact due to our orienting section of our brains react to stimuli on TV, putting into a relaxed state, which makes it easier to imprint messages. Kind of like, right. The thing about hypnosis is, and it's just like television, and you're right, because you have to, okay. The thing about hypnosis is you have to choose to allow yourself to be hypnotized first. And that's just a fact. And they've actually confirmed that through fMRI, that there is no measurable change in brain state between a hypnotized person and an unhypnotized person, which is, it's not a magic spell, y'all. The magic was in you all along, okay? The insane hyper-focus on gendering kids now is really crazy. Yeah, right. And it has not always been that way at all. It's gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. If you go in a time machine and suggested 20 years ago you should stop puberty if a kid dresses weird, people would think you were insane. Yeah. That's really what it comes back to. A lot of this, I'm realizing, comes back to the fact that I am just old enough to know better. Literally. I have seen enough to know that this is just not reality. This is not how this is meant to be. This is not how it has always been at all. Yes, it puts you in an alpha state, which is associated with accelerated learning. Right. So that makes it an amazing propaganda machine. Oops. Did I say that out loud? But again, the subtext will always be there. Subtext itself is not inherently evil or something. That's just good storytelling, and it's the messaging that, as a viewer, you need to both investigate and also as the writer, as the creator, you need to be aware of that. Because it is totally possible to just create straightforwardly a story and not be necessarily mindful of the subtext that's under there, but people are going to find it whether you intended to put it there or not. Because again, that is just how storytelling works. It works on a gut level. Good stories hit you on a gut level. Okay, so the subtext is going to be found by your audience whether you meant to put it there or not. So you should be mindful of that. Media definitely molds our experience, but once you're aware of propaganda, you constantly recognize it and it loses its effect to shape our beliefs. Right. But what I'm saying is, it's not necessarily that ability to shape people's beliefs in itself is not evil. and must be avoided at all costs. That's not what I'm saying. And I think that is like a Puritan response. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think the process of creation involves you putting in things you didn't mean to, in the context we see in things. Yes, 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 yes. And once you release your art to the world, then it doesn't belong to you anymore. I absolutely agree with that. On the other hand, during the stupid computer's trying to go to sleep on me. What the fuck? Sorry. During the creative process, it is still necessary, I feel, as a responsible creator. If you're going to put something out into the world, you should be mindful of what the fuck you're trying to say, what you're going to be saying. You know what I mean? Like, just because it's never going to be perfect doesn't mean you should not try. Like, I still can't believe people actually believe in trans, like, for real. Right? That's what I'm saying. And that news piece, that was from NBC, and that was not old. What they were saying, they were reporting on the fact that Florida has changed their policy. And they did it in the most slanted way possible. That is yellow journalism, the very definition of yellow journalism with an agenda. It was presented with the biggest slant they could possibly, it's Alanis Morissette's birthday today. Oh, right on. Right on. Happy birthday to Alanis Morissette, I guess. I agree. Trying to be mindful is always a good idea, and it's responsible. Right. Just because your messaging is never going to be perfect doesn't mean you shouldn't do your best, right? Your utmost to be clear, right? Because again, that subtext is a very powerful thing. That's really where the gut messaging, where the real messaging is, Like, I'm older, but not that old to forget about basic biology. And that's the thing. You're never too old, so old that you're going to forget that. That doesn't happen. That's not, no. Man, and I used to work in a dementia ward, okay? I've seen people forget some stuff. Not that. Now I think about it. That's not a thing. I've never seen any evidence that anybody ever forgot what sex they were. Actually, I've heard a couple of stories of it being the reverse, which is terrifying. When Reagan died in 2004, I said, good riddance to very bad rubbish. Yeah. I heard the thing about Ronald Reagan the other day that is like his equivalent to Hitler loved dogs, right? He was a lifeguard and saved apparently several dozen people. And like one time sacrificed a very nice suit at a party to jump in and save somebody. Off the clock, if you will. And I was like, okay, well, and nobody's all bad, I guess. Like, the devil's not real. I mean, there you go. I've seen anecdotes that prove people who transition and get dementia wind up confused why they're cross-dressed. Right. I've heard stories like that too. And that's terrifying. Well, I'm sure Joe Biden saved a lot of lives as lifeguard too. What's killing a million if you save it? No. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. Like I say, I'm comparing it to the fact that Hitler loved dogs. It's like, he's still Hitler, though. It just proves that they're human. That's all that does. Oh, wow, that makes up. Right, yeah. And I just want to make sure that anyone ever watching this does not think that that is what I meant. One has to be cognizant, aware of the fact that, like, this is everything. This is the whole world, possibly, hypothetically. Heaven forfend I ever get anywhere with any of this. Oh, the scrutiny. Mac, that's one of those ones I've not been able to find a trustworthy source for what it's worth. Like, the whole frozen ketchup shoved his up his ass. Oh, wait, was the Hitler the lifeguard or Reagan? Reagan was the lifeguard. Hitler loved dogs. And Reagan was a lifeguard. And, like, yeah. So, it just proves that they're human. That's all. No one's 100% bad because the devil's not real. That's okay. It just means that they have human foibles. Yep. They're, defeatable. That's what that means. Yep. The more you know, right? A few months ago, Brittany, we talked about how the transitioning often leads to early brain dementia. I wager. I've had a couple of people in my own family succumb to dementia. So again, I've done quite a bit of research on this just for my own personal edification. You know, and the sum total of it seems to be a combination of, would you know it, lifestyle and genetics. Like, if you don't have the gene for dementia, you could beat yourself up and live the shittiest life ever and be sharp as a tack at 98. On the other hand, if you have a lot of that genetic load, and you can do real well with yourself and take really good care of yourself and wind up demented at 60. So it's not fair, but you're probably considering all the chemical hormones. Right. Which, I don't know if philological is still hanging around. You might have something to say on that if you are. But and that's one of the concerns that, like, see, I didn't want to go there and start a discussion when somebody's about to go get on a plane. Yes, that's right. It's a mix of genetics and lifestyle, right? But like anything, right? And it's just the genetic component is the part you can't control. You have no control over that, which almost might lead to the conclusion you should just go ahead and like live your life the best you can while you can. I don't know. That's the conclusion I ended up coming to. Because, yeah, full disclosure, it was both of my grandmothers. But one of them I know for a fact heavily self-medicated with barbiturates for decades. So I wonder if that didn't have anything to do with that. That's the kind of thing that would give you that without you having any genetic predisposition. And then the other one, her sister turned out to be an alcoholic. And I don't really know about Edna. I really don't know Edna that well. She was my grandmother, but I don't really have a whole lot of information on that. But her sister was an alcoholic. So, possible, but I'd be highly skeptical that we have enough elderly folks who would be medically transitioned 10 plus years to study the prevalence of brain dementia in them. Yeah, no, that's a good point. And that's why one of the reasons that I hesitate to make any, hard predictions there. But it does beg the question, and it's worrisome. You know what I mean? Especially when starting with the population who might not be super solid in the mental health department to begin with. And maybe not have been taking great care of themselves for a while anyway. That's why I said what I saw was anecdotal. A lack of decent base for data. Right. And it's the kind of thing that would be, are there cases like that? Probably. Is it prevalent to any extent, that it would be, statistically important? We do not know that. There's a lot of unknowns with cross-sex medicalization for sure. And it comes with costs. Okay. Well, I mean, like anything. So there's an element of that, I suppose. That, if you're going to do something that drastic, regardless of what it is, you might expect an element of cost there. So. Wait, so you're saying that I identify with different genetics, it doesn't manifest as reality? No, not from what I've seen. No. That would be great, though. Wouldn't that be great? That'd be living the dream, right? Oh, it is. It's so hot out here. This is terrible, you guys. I'm so sorry. It's causing my brain to fuzz. Huh?
Is now a bad time to start laundry?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
I am on camera right now. Oh, it's okay. Would you... What, baby?
Oh, let me play Geodash.
Won't let you play what?
You let me play Geodash.
Oh, when you guys are taking turns on YouTube right now.
What?
Oh my god. Guys, please go inside.
And it's still a little nugget.
Not right now. Oh my god.
Will you come grab me later?
Yeah, obviously. Oh, and honey, please go inside.
You're not gonna say anything?
I don't know what that is or why he wouldn't be letting you do that. So I have nothing to add. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. I love you. I will be in to see you in about an hour and a half. That was the video earlier. That's why I came in the house and was talking to you, and then I said I was going to go get a camera, like I told you, honey. I am trying to keep you in the loop. I promise. I love you guys. Oh, there's a lot of it. Let's see. So that friendship has ended again, real quick. Wait, what? It's not too bad weather-wise here, and will be until fire season starts and we start getting those fire nados. Wow. Time for you to go swimming. Yeah, right. We went to the lake last week. It was super fun. Fire nados. Are those real? Yeah, asks the Brit. Yeah, right. Right. Inquiring minds want to know, actually. I don't know that I've seen one of those myself. But again, apparently we live on the edge of a temperate rainforest, so if there were any kind of NATOs, we would not probably get around here. It would be those. Although, I don't know. We had a big fire in the mountains a few years ago. I don't know. That was started by campers. Yes, they are. We get them now all over the province of British Columbia. Holy shit. Yes, we could get big wildfires here this summer. Wow. When I think of British weather, I think of Wuthering Heights. I'll take a fire NATO over persistent gloom. I mean, you got to give a little to get a little, right? I guess. Yikes. Water. Ugh. Ooh. I don't know, y'all. I feel like I'd want to see one of them, but only if I knew I could get the fuck away very quickly once I'd had my fill. Right. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry, y'all. I have got to run in the house and change out of this dress real quick because I'm absolutely sweltering and gonna die on camera. And you don't want to see that. But I will be right back. Oh. Okay. And I brought a fan. Oh gosh. Cause like it's early summer in Tennessee, y'all. It's no joke. Oh jeez. Time to riot. Yeah. Terrible wildfires in BC during the summer. Back in 2015 and 2017, The whole province literally went up in flames. Oh my god. I'm just glad I live close enough to the ocean where I can hop in if we get a case like Maui. Wait, no, she's back. Yeah, I told you I was gonna try and not take too long, you know. The show must go on. Oh, but yeah, this southern weather is not a joke, y'all. Mm-mm-mm. You can tell I'm from up north as I pick the sunny side of the house to put my garden on, you know. Being all, yay, sun! And, well, neglected to take into account one or two things that, you know, I just didn't quite understand so much being from up north. Boy, the sun here is a force to be reckoned with. I'll tell you what. Mm. Oh my gosh. Please forgive me, you guys, if this is ragged today. It's been a very busy week. That's just straight up. The kids are home from school, and like I'm not super stressed or anything. But it's been oh so busy. Oh my god, I could never live south. I don't do well in heat. My brain melts. Right. But yeah, and like I may actually have to go back inside for a minute here in a second. I am so sorry. What a great live stream this is. But you know, it's that hard deadline that I set for myself, which is a good thing. But like, you know, sometimes these things are a challenge. We ran around all morning this morning, and yeah, I am so sorry. I'm actually gonna have to go. This right here, it doesn't move. So I am sorry. I will have to be right back. Again, I'll be back. Oh my god. Oh. I'm back. Okay. Wait a minute. Really? They illegalized the glitter? They made the glitter illegal? They made the glitter thing illegal? That's... Excuse me. Oh, gosh. I am just all over the place today. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Yeah, I'm back. They made the glitter. They made some sort of glitter bandit tradition. Is it a hazing ritual? I was tempted to call it that. I don't know that that's what it is. That sounds like... Maybe it might not just be the glitter. They banned the whole thing altogether and not just, said don't use glitter. End of exams tradition. Okay. Do you mind explaining? It's called trashing. Okay. I can see how something like that might not be like the university's most favorite tradition, right? Like something like that. They probably don't enjoy the idea of any of the stuff, when you come out of your final exam, people throw glitter and confetti and stuff on you. Littering with glitter. Yeah, right. Yikes. It's now banned for environmental reasons. Okay. I mean, it is an island, right? And I think I said this last week that I read somewhere recently that Great Britain is one of the most naturally depleted places on Earth. Basically just because of the amount of length of time, it's been steadily both an island and heavily populated, Yeah, final exams in college were no fun. I mean, yeah. I don't know that I'd want to get glitter bombed afterwards either, but maybe that's me. No, but so then I was watching something about cairns and ring cairns and standing stones and stuff, because again, nerd. And I don't know, some of those landscapes, I'm like, okay, if you're thinking Neolithic, this would have been a forest. And I wonder if that's not part of the reason they're so damn eerie sometimes. It's because the entire landscape has shifted around these monuments, right? So that they're not at all in their original context anymore. Oh, yeah, that's why they floated to the Americas. Right. Yeah, it's a shithole here. No, I don't mean to say that. And obviously there's still plenty of ecology that goes on. And like I say, I learned recently that the coast of Wales has an inland wetlands now, which is the only one in Britain. It's artificially created by some dude 150 years ago. And that's not what he meant to do, but that's been the end result of it. Imperialism will do that to you. Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I don't think it's the imperialism that, I don't know. Maybe. And I don't mean, all the coal that they dug out of the ground. That's not even what I'm... Oxford kept the tradition of making you wear stupid wizard robes to sit your exams. Are you serious? Wow, how medieval is that? That's crazy. They could have kept trashing too. Yeah. But told you to, use paper confetti or something. There are legitimate, that's what I'm saying. There are legitimate, environmentally at least more friendly alternatives for stuff like that. So, I don't know. Seems like kind of raining on people's parade for no good reason. But maybe that's Oxford. I don't know. Is it? Imperialism is solely based upon needing to steal resources elsewhere because you've depleted your own. Yeah, no. But what I mean, I'm referencing more ecology, okay? Not necessarily resources specific, yeah, there's a whole lot fewer trees, but there are also a whole lot fewer types of trees, different stuff like that. Yeah, the wizard robe is called subfusk, if you want to look it up. Oh, I believe you. I didn't mean to say I don't believe you. Wow. I mean, if any place we're going to be carrying on medieval traditions, it would be a place that's existed since the Middle Ages. That does make some sense. trees are a resource. Yes. But I don't mean to look at it solely. I'm not really looking at it from that angle. You know, the reasons for the ecological depletion are evident, right? But just to lay the economics and political stuff aside for a minute and just look at the ecosystem, you know, and the effect that all that has had on it, right? And I wonder if that's why some of the standing stone monuments don't feel like ghosts. You know, they don't just jump out at you and kind of make you go, oh, because it's emblematic of the last, 3,000 years of human history or some shit like that. But those bitches used to be standing in a forest. And I don't know. Fire tornadoes also deplete the tree resources, to be fair. Yeah. Right. And that's one of the reasons that Britain is interesting, is because it's an island, you know. So there's less, there's no outside to like repopulate these things from so much. It's isolated in that way. The British Columbia isn't. No offense. Like, that's not bad, because it is. That's off the wall. Like, that's wild stuff. But like I say, I've been writing a novel for 2.5 years that's set in England. So, like, I don't know. These are just kind of some of the strange flotsam that I stumble upon in my research. You know what I mean? That, obviously the British like to behave as if history started there, and as a narrative, that's sort of fun because you can use them as a token for humanity. You know what I mean? I'm also biased because I have a lot of British ancestry and whatever. Obviously, I don't accept to say like that's. I don't mean like British nationalism does not enter into it for me. But like, I live on Van Island. I understand. Oh, okay, yeah. Has Van Island continuously been inhabited for the last 5,000 years? Imagine living in Britain unironically. You live in Britain unironically, don't you? Most people live in Britain unironically. I don't understand what you mean. I do try. That is the idea, One wants to get past all the stereotypes, right? And not portray anything stupid. On the other hand, I'm not sitting here being like, British colonialism, yay! Like, no. No, and you'll hear me say every so often that I think the United States is geographically a bit big to like sustain itself on long term. Culturally, we've already got, various sort of smaller nations all sort of working as one. The coastal indigenous people lived on by for thousands of years. Okay, cool. The trees are becoming more and more scarce. We have the last of the old growth, and they've just imprisoned the natives, blocking the. Again, those standing stones are emblematic of something, aren't they? And it's not necessarily humanity. It's an approach to things, maybe, that they could live on that island for thousands of years and not depleted in that way. Maybe it has something to do with the level of invasions and, the churning of. Because, of course, it's all tied back to, if we're talking about human activity, it's always going to come back to politics. Right? I'm just trying to find differences, not excuses. I'm trying to find a difference, I don't know. Plane is taking off. Got to turn on flight mode. Nice chatting with you. Hope you have a good flight. See you next week. It's very rich in natural resources, and that's great. But, so clearly Western European culture, just in general, has, I don't know, some sort of veracity that, like, I don't know. There's been a consumptiveness to it for a very long time. Like, consumerism is not a new concept, like. And I don't know. I mean, the argument that that's just inherent to the human condition is obviously biased. Obviously. Right? And obviously, maybe not so great. And maybe not true. It's at ease. Once you overpopulate an area, it's only sustainable by going outward to consume other. Okay. 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 Overpopulation. Okay. So why is it something that Europeans achieved and native people never? Oh, farming. Oh, it's back to plow agriculture again. Huh. Well, says the ability to utilize the resources to a further extent, because that's what depleted a lot of the countryside in the United Kingdom. Was farming, thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Well, maybe only 2,000 and thousands, but still, hierarchy. Natives had agriculture. No, I know they did. They did. But they did not have plow agriculture the same way the Europeans did, because they did not have the beasts of burden. And not just the Europeans, the Asians, the Africans, any of them. They were sort of left out. That's why they were sort of left out of a lot of, history, if you look at and why, when the conquistadors discovered them, it was like, two different eras of human history sort of clashing. That's why. Okay. They had writing, they had religion, they had all of that stuff. But you're right, they didn't have the population density. And that's why. Because they didn't have the agriculture to support that population, support that level of population. And I'm sorry, this isn't something that I picked up from, like, what's the name, the guy who wrote that book about guns, germs, and steel or whatever. Like, this is just, from my observation, what seems to have happened. So, it was, accident of geography and ecology. Again, they did not have horses. They did not have, donkeys. They did not have any of that. Cows, bovine. They didn't have any of that. So you mean husbandry hierarchy is holding resources for a small amount, forcing others to work for you in exchange for the right to sustain the necessity of life. They definitely had that. I'm not going to say ancient Americans didn't have hierarchy. They clearly did. H.G. Wells was inspired by the Western invasions of Native people for his famous book, War of the Worlds. I think the clashing of cultures in that era has inspired, like, the ripple effects from that one are still being felt. Right? Like, that was, and that's, when it's done in a more even way, that can be really good, and generally speaking, overall, for the human race, cultural mixing is good, I would say. But they, like, just literally did not have those species of big critters to hook the plows to. And apparently llamas are not good for that for reasons I do not understand. Okay, I'm not a farmer. I don't know. I don't know why llamas are not good for that. Why a donkey would be and a llama's not. I don't know. But apparently not. So I guess husbandry is the using of domestic animals. Agriculture is just farming and planting crops. Okay. You can farm without animals. Right. Like, that's why I said plow agriculture, I guess. So what would I be? So how would you term that then? They just didn't have the big animals to husband or whatever. And they did farm without the big animals, obviously. They did, but that's what I'm saying. So they could never reach that level of population density to begin depleting the environment in the same way that the Europeans did. Maybe the long necks on llamas just give them the pulling strength in the shoulders. Maybe. I don't know. But I encourage everyone to go fact check me if you feel the need, if you feel like, that itch, please do, and let me know if you find anything different. But this is what I've always in just various sources over the years. As far as I know, in archaeology, this is pretty much standard. Yes, the Europeans had oxen, which made a huge difference. Right. And as far as archaeology is concerned, that's just a fairly standard narrative, right? Like, I'm not saying anything controversial in saying that. But so that's why in the Americas they did not have the level of technological achievement. It's not because they were stupid or something. Obviously, stuff that they did do. Sometimes mind blowing, right? But apparently they didn't have wheels. Like, how on earth do you do some of those, roll some of those massive stones, to build some of those monuments without wheels? I don't know. And it's raining now, so we'll see if we get wet. 10 minutes ago I was sweltering, and now it's raining. Wow. And I agree. Husbandry creates hierarchy. It's understanding procreation of domestic animals, which lead to domesticating females, i.e. patriarchy, which created class, and boom, you got hierarchy. Okay. I want to say they did have smaller animals. They had pigs. They had chickens, right? They did have animal husbandry. They did. They just didn't have oxen to pull plows with, which is why I say plow agriculture. It's like the combination. Thank you for sitting through the ads. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Every little bit counts. Sincerely, thank you. So it's the combination of the animal husbandry and the farming in that way. So it's plow agriculture. I guess that's why I'm being specific in that with that terminology. I'm not going to say I made that up. Again, it seems fairly generic to me as a term. They had agriculture and they had animal husbandry, but they didn't have plow agriculture. Does that make sense? And llamas, obviously. So they bred animals. And yeah. You're like, hey, we tamed all the other beasts, what about other people? What if we could, breed people for our benefit somehow? How cool would that be? How sick is that? But yeah. That is. Thank you for cutting to the quick, I guess. I mean, the cutting to the chase, that's yeah. Welcome to the world. And all of my conditioning leads me to feel like the weirdest nutcase conspiracy theorist saying that stuff. Because I grew up watching the X-Files where, the people trying to connect the dots are 3 crazy nerds in a basement. Right? I just, again, you're going to talk about media and the subtext therein. All right? This is literally just history. I'm not talking about anything that never happened. Conspiracy theory is an intentionally stigmatized term. Yes, Becca, thank you. That's exactly what I am saying. And it's all over the place in things that, Like, the X-Files was the show for weirdos, right? I mean, it was very popular, but there's, every nerd I knew watched that show. And that's just one example. There's a lot of media, especially from that period that I'm familiar with, that's like that, where it claims to portray and play to a certain cultural minority audience, and then literally feeds them the shit that they're used to and reinforces it. Which, 30 years later is patently obvious. At the time, the conspiracy is literally just people working together to accomplish something that can be considered bad. Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. It has a negative connotation. Let's just go ahead and leave that. I agree. Yeah. The reason in America hierarchies collapsed because there was more decentralized nations in different geographic locations that couldn't expand because those nations resisted. Hierarchies collapsed? When did that happen? Yeah, it did. It's crazy to think humans might work together to accomplish goals. It's crazy people thinking. It's so wild. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Meanwhile, we're all glued to these screens, literally participating in one. Right? We're all agreeing to be hypnotized to become complicit in whatever it is that we're doing. And again, I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing. That is a function of the human psyche, and it can be very powerful either way you swing it. Either way. Northern Europe had a lot of unpopulated land, making expansion easier. Yeah, I don't know. Hello, Vikings? Like, what were they doing then? The X-Files episode with the alien Terminator was very good. That was when Murdoch knocked it off that skyscraper. Boy, I don't remember that. Boy, that was 30 years ago. I did catch like every episode of that almost on its original run in the movie. And by then I was 15, and I think I had aged out of it. I don't know. But like, we are not all agreeing. I tossed my TV in 2016, right? I choose that I interact with on the screen with care. Right. No, that's what I'm saying. You are utilizing that tool of yours in a careful way, right? Which, more power to you. That is fantastic and awesome, and that is what I try to do, and I wish more people would do that. But it is a tool. It is a function of the human psyche. It is how storytelling works. It is the essence of how we all think, okay? It is not evil in its own right. Communicating is all it is, if you think about it, on a deeper level. This is not inherently bad. And, allowing yourself to be open to that level of communication should not be inherently bad. I think this might be another message that we've all unconsciously absorbed from somewhere. You should read 500 Years of Indigenous Resistance by Gord Hill. It goes in depth. Oh. I will add it to the list. I'll never be bored. By the time I'm old and decrepit, I sure hope I'm not senile and that I can see decently well, because I have a pile of books I want to read. Girlfriend needed me to answer a question for her son out back. Okay, cool beans. How's your girlfriend doing? So, I don't think a lot of people utilize their attention like a tool. You know what I mean? And like you're sculpting your own psyche, your own mind from moment to moment with every experience that you have, whether you want to or not, frankly. Someone recently tried to say that I was raised by my phone, and I said, motherfucker, I didn't even own a Nokia till my 30s. Yeah. What an offensive thing to say. Why would someone say that to you? Oh my God. We know the origin of products like that is corporations and governments, and whatever that they want with us is not what we want. Right. And I think it's just, your consciousness is like your tool for understanding the world, and like you should hone it, right? And like practice with it, and like hone your ability to utilize it. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited when people think I'm young enough to have grown up on social media. Yeah, I'm getting to that point myself. Aw, thank you. You're trying to insult me and failing. That's adorable. You know. I will say I am stiff a lot more than I used to be, which was never. But, you know, it's a small price to pay so far for having any fucking idea what the hell's going on in the world. You think I was an iPad baby? I guess I won't tell you about the Super Nintendo, right? Oh my god, like Gen Xers and their Atari, right? I don't know if maybe this is just me, but like I feel like there was this time in my life, and that was a test. Like, you know, whether if you had an Atari as a kid, then you were, you know, you were the real generation. You were, you were the real grown ups in the room. You know, which like Gen X, y'all fun. Y'all made us feel like babies into our 30s. Y'all some patronizing motherfuckers. You know, that cynical shit. Oh. You know, love to my cousins and everything, but goddamn. It's great to be, you know, got the boomers on one hand, on the Xers on the other. It was a great use. The 90s were a hell of a time, weren't they? Back in 1982, they predicted that the millennials will become hardcore digital natives. Right, yeah. No, yeah. I mean, they've been saying that forever. We're still waiting for Gen X to be the adults in the room. Where are y'all going to take these boomers out of politics? Thank you. Right? Oh, God. Although, to be fair, from what I understand, they are drastically outnumbered. Okay? Like, Gen X compared to the baby boom is like a third of the size. So, you know, that second generation kind of got split into two, them and us, you know? Because when you know it, a lot of boomers didn't have kids in their 20s. That's just how that worked out. So the actual population wave happened about 10 years later than you'd think. You know, and like these modern cultural changes and trends, like these are real things, you know, and that's the kind of larger effect you see from stuff like that. Oh, good. It dripped over there. I like that. I had a PlayStation, but not an N64. I had a cousin with an N64, so it evened out. Yes, Gen X was the baby bust generation. Yeah, right. I've seen that said. Mm-hmm. Well, Super Nintendo was great. When they put out N64, that's when they lost me. I had neither. My mother refused to ever buy us any of them. She just flat out refused and hated them. And it was never enough of an issue for me to argue with her about it. My sister either, I guess. So we just never had one. A friend of mine had an N64 for a while. That was fun sometimes. I don't know. My mom didn't buy them, but my grandma did. Right on. You know, and if there's one thing millennials have proven, it's that you can play video games no matter what age you are, right? We are not giving those up. And like, I'm not even speaking for myself. As just saying, I grew up without them. I do not especially play video games. I'm not sure where they go in my life. I just don't. Mom's budget did not support such a habit. Yeah, right. My mom just straight up said she hated them and thought they were annoying as all hell and didn't want them in the house. And that was just her thing. And you know, I was sitting over there in the corner with my notebook and went, okay. You know, I don't care. I did not care. So it was not like, oh my God, what? You know, I don't know if that's what she expected. I didn't care. Like, and to this day, I'm just not sure where video games go in my life. Now, I don't have a spot for that. It was great for my mom because this was when you could just rent the games from the video rental store. Those were the days. Yeah, I bet it was. I bet it was. How much was one of those for a week, huh? Is a week long enough to beat a game? Like, was that a decent deal? I have ADHD, so my mom supported a thing that got her a break from Mommy. What's that? Mommy, what are you doing? Mommy, where are you? I have theoretically the other kind of ADHD where I will like sit in a corner with my notebook all afternoon. It's apparently called inattentive ADHD. My son has it too. And be perfectly happy in my mind. You know, you come and interrupt me. I'm like, what? 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 Is stuff happening? God damn it. Like, and 64s were the first games to use 64-bit processing. Yeah, that's the name. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. See, now we're getting into territory I actually do recall sometimes. You know, I don't remember 1980. But 1996-ish, yeah. Now we're starting to get into the realm of stuff I actually remember. I mean, that might have been 97, 98. I have no clue what 64-bit processing is. You could say it was the first Wurzel Wazzle. I couldn't tell the difference. See, the only reason I know that is because, again, and I said this early on, as a teenager, I was like the like, I hate pop music. It's so pretentious. I'm a rock and roller, kind of not like the other girl, you know? So, consequently from that, by 10 years later, I ended up in an audio technical school. Because I was going to go work in a studio and like engineer records and shit, you know? So I actually learned about all that crap. So I could sit here and try and explain it to you after 15, 20 years, but you don't want that. KitKat, something, more data for more colors and 3D. Well, right, yeah. I mean, the effect of it was evident, which is why I think they made such a big deal out of it. Because it upped the graphics, you know, boom, a whole lot just like that. Yes, 1980 was when Darth Vader tells Luke that he was his father. Cool, thanks for the translation. Yeah, but okay, what it is, and the reason that it gives the graphics so much more oomph all at once is because it's logarithmic, right? As opposed to a straight up scale. It's one of these graphs, okay? So that once you get past that initial swing, every progression is at least double the previous. Okay, so you're not just stair stepping. I do remember that much, but that's a conceptual difference, not so much a mathematical thing. Which I'm pretty good with concepts. Boy, howdy, I can juggle big concepts all day long. But when you try and make me do a math problem, I'm like, oh fuck. Subtraction, carry the one, da 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 da. Like, I'm not quite that bad anymore, but yeah. Okay, you lost me. I'm out of this convo now. I'm sorry. You made me think of how popular Blockbuster stores were. Right on. That would be a logarithmic regression. Right. They never became unpopular. What put them out of business is predatory venture capital. And now we think of it as just a cultural thing. Because it's been repeated over and over and over and over again. Subtraction. Okay, I know that. Right, yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Everyone has their strengths, and that's just not mine at all. It's not. I did sit through those classes, and I passed those classes. But I have been left with a pretty general idea of what all that is conceptually. And I don't know that I can sit here and, walk you through every bit of... Yeah. That's just, I'm not that person. I'm just not a techie. Not really. Yeah, it's okay. I'm a writer. Say love you. Richter scale for earthquakes is logarithmic. You're right. Lots of scales are logarithmic. And it's a fascinating concept to me the concept of orders of magnitude. The difference between 1 and 10 and 100 and 1,000 and 10,000. You know what I'm saying? It's growing on that level. You see how quickly I got to 10,000 stair stepping that way. Which I guess is why some nerds get so excited about how reality is like measurable in math, because if you can get some measurable curve of reality to follow a scale like that, boy howdy, you've got some fire going. It's the same with what happened to Sears, Toys R Us, and many other businesses. Societal change gets blamed when really it was an intentional move by big money to reinforce monopolies. Right. So that's, our understanding of things being incorrect. That's rewriting of what happened in the zeitgeist, in the popular imagination. You know what I'm saying? Mecca, speaking facts. That's right. I'm just trying to analyze that a little bit, because as hostess of the gig, that's what kind of my job is, I think. But so we've been made to cover for them without them even really having to do anything. That's why they call it vulture capital. Right. But so then you look at that, and that's just not how people portray it in their own minds, even if because even if you know stuff like that, again, you get this nervous feeling that like, I'm talking conspiracy theories now. People are going to think I'm nuts, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking for myself now, but like, I have gotten some too many weird looks at parties. Maybe it was the wrong moment. Where somebody will just say something about something like that, and I'll be like, no, that's not what happened. It was da-da-da-da-da-da. Because to me, that was obvious, because I was fucking there, and I watched, and I thought about it at the time, and saw the context at the time, and blah, 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 blah. And then everybody just kind of turns and looks at you like, what? And you're just like, oh, I'm sorry, was I the only one actually there for that? Sometimes that's true at this point. And I genuinely do not know. But I guess that's the rewritten narrative, right? When you're talking to a bunch of 25-year-olds, and they all seem to agree on like the assessment of a certain thing, and you're just like, whoa, what? When I tell you I'm the worst person to invite to a party, you can only imagine what happens if I get drunk and you ask me about predatory lending or venture capital. Girl, we need to hang out. That sounds like fun. That's my idea of fun. So, and I'm weird. Like I won't necessarily drink a whole lot with you, but I'll do other things. You know what I'm saying? And not be sober in the room. The sober person. You know what I'm saying? Girl, we can have like, oh, that sounds fun. Nah, I've been an anti-capitalist for too long. The people around me know the ins and outs because I don't shut up about it. Yeah, again, my social network is what I might call loose. That's what your autocorrect. What does that say? I'm getting dripped on. Please don't drip on me, please. Yeah, anyway, it's been a long time since I've had actually, I'm not going to say it's been a long time since I've had the opportunity to say something like that at a party. I just kind of stopped because how exhausting. Like, I have better things to do with my energy. Literally, it's as simple as that. I'm not an extrovert. I don't want that kind of attention all of a sudden out of nowhere. You know what I mean? I don't. Don't judge you. No, I'm not. I'm merely extrapolating conclusions from logical, steps. That's all. That's okay. It took me so long to convince my phone that I was not trying to say duck. Ever. I am never trying to say duck. ever. That's never the word I want. What the hell is that, right? What the fuck is that? I never started back up with going to parties after COVID hard stopped that habit. Yeah. Yeah. I've heard that from other people too. Like I say, personally, my social network these days is what you might call loose. And anybody I'm reasonably close to, most of them are far away. And the people who are nearby, who I've known for years, I see them at church. I run into them at the grocery store. It's cute and nice. But we're not tight like that. I don't know. I'm a ranter. I'm not an extrovert. I'm just a cynical, pissy person. Yeah, and more power to you. More people should be ready, in the moment to articulate a solid point about things. But and I'm not saying I'm not that person, but if I have the choice, I'm probably just going to keep my mouth shut because I don't feel responsible for like convincing a room full of random room full of I don't know. And I just kind of take that energy and I roll it into this stuff, right? And I'm rolling it into my novel. And like, there's just better ways to spend my time. I don't know. I also lost several friends over the medical treatment that was mandated for a bit, over which there is much disagreement. Oh, yes. The one about which we have all had our lives turned this way and that, and yet we are not allowed to discuss. Yeah. Maxine. Did you meet Maxine? If you know what I'm saying? Between that and the TRA crap, the social environment you get with a random group of people became too stressful. You're right. Between arguing over whether or not you need to go meet Maxine and, yeah. Gosh, can you imagine if, like, imagine, if you will, a scenario where that little medical treatment had anything to, like was seriously related, like you had to have a different version depending on what sex you were. Oh, my God. We were one step away from that tinderbox just going, poof. Oh my God. Basically, I hang out with people on the same wavelength. We got a collective of turfs, so I'm in a good place. Oh, wow. Like in real life? That's special. That's fantastic. Congratulations. I had somebody seriously suggest I should put it in a loony bin because I didn't want to meet Maxine. He suggested I was having paranoid delusions. I'm not even going to go into what my opinion is and was on that because it's not important right now. But that's ridiculous. Anyway, they don't have those anymore. We don't have mental hospitals anymore. Like what? Not like that. That you could just go and get help if you need it. No. Imagine. Not saying you did. I'm saying what he said is ridiculous on at least a couple of different levels. Maxine comes in a little glass vial, and it's a word that sounds like Maxine, that we're not allowed to say. I don't think it's crazy. People had different opinions. Right. It was crazy how it became normalized to trade. Right. Yeah. Agreed. It was crazy how it became normalized to try to pressure, shame, and threaten people over their private medical decisions. Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah. Maxine is like Mary Jane. She's here to represent a substance, personified, because I can't say, well, fuck, I can say marijuana. Right? This world is so crazy. So crazy. This is... I'm boots on the ground type of girl. If this is something Twitterish, I'm out of the loop. Oh no, I just made that up just now. I literally just coined that right now because I was trying to think of a way to fucking say it without saying it. I'm not used to people trying to tell me what to do on that level, and it was unsettling. Like, who do you think you're talking to? I'm an adult, right? No, it's not public like Twitter. Right. That. Yeah. So meeting Maxine is like meeting Mary Jane, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. We're speaking in euphemism here because I can actually sit here and I could literally have an entire channel probably dedicated to marijuana and the legalization and the politics and the history of whatever. But heaven forfend, I talk about a common medical treatment. That's weird. On that note, I'm going to smoke my little tobacco bubbler over here, because legalities and whatever. It always makes me think of Simon Whistler just repeatedly, allegedly, in my opinion. Allegedly, in my opinion. Allegedly, in my opinion. It reminded me of the Vibrant TRA stuff. This idea is just not okay to have different opinions anymore. Right. Which is totalitarian. Essentially. Right? In its very essence. I thought it was some new Twitter drama with someone. Oh, heavens. No, and I'm not on Twitter. Like, it's not even called that anymore. By the way, hello. But get with the program. Oh my god. Twitter is so 2023 or something. Anyway, no, I'm not even on there. I haven't been on there for years because it just got to be one more thing that wasn't really getting me anywhere. That was, hey, what's up, Joe? How you doing? Oh, we got such a great crowd here today. I'm so stoked. And this is water with orange flavor in it with vitamins, in case anyone thinks to be shocked of seeing me drink a soda, because it's not what this is. Hanging in there, you? Oh, I'm pretty good. Like I say, this week's video was a little short because I wanted to say one thing. If you go and watch it, you'll see pretty clearly what that is. And draft 2 is 35 pages. I got 35 pages into draft 2 the other day. I'm so stoked about that. So yeah, they're pretty good. I deleted my old account and created a new one just because I follow finance stuff there. I'm in the meme stocks. I'm watching the impending financial collapse. Oh god. Yeah. Couldn't. For fuck's sake, lol X. Sorry, I still don't know how that platform works. Well, it's not something I think everyone needs to know. That's definitely not mandatory, I wouldn't think. Especially these days, it's it was a bit of a kind of a cool public forum there for a while. But we can't have that. Obviously, we can't have that. I don't get into any conversations about gender or anything like that on Twitter anymore because I'm exhausted with the energy of that. Yeah. And it just goes round and round. I swear to God, every few months there's a new cohort of people on either side that show up and are just having the same conversation again. It's like, 5 or so years of that. And I just, no. I was reminded this week how infuriating men are. What a bunch of king babies. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm sorry. You want to talk about it? Twitter equals X equals cesspool. Mecca, I think Twitter is where I first ran into you. I think I followed your old account on there. I seem to remember, running into you on there. I got into the gender conversation when I was majoring in feminist studies back in 2007. I've done my time on that subject on the internet. I used to have a whole WordPress about it. Wow, yeah. I still do have my blog, the Brazen She blog that's out there. I have not posted anything in like a couple of years because I've been busy with this and with the book and with the kids, frankly, we had one graduate and then the other two are both in high school now and then the little guy's in school now. So it's just, it's just everything. We first ran into each other on Twitter, I think. Yeah, right. Yeah. The bad old days, eh? Were you on Reddit back before they expunged everybody? Because that was where I really got started on all of this, was on Reddit, ironically. Like, what year is it? Probably easily 10 years ago. No, more. Oh my god. Like the rad femme and gender critical communities on there, back when it was kind of sort of one thing, kind of for a minute. Because us having a gathering place, a central gathering place to like collect and build our philosophy into anything coherent. Obviously, we can't have that either. And that was the first thing that really told me, because I was on Reddit. I'm still on Reddit technically. That account is like 12 years old or something. I've been on Reddit for way too long. I wasn't on Reddit like that. I have one now, but I'm a super casual user of it. I mostly talk about pulp culture stuff there, like video games or music. Yeah. It's really good for lots of stuff. And, Reddit is one of those things. It really is what you make of it. It really is. And that was, one of the things that taught me that. So when people started talking about how Twitter was a cesspool, I had to sit back and go, I don't know. They said the same thing about Reddit, and I literally used that for, boots on the ground level news reports and media commentary. I don't, and I did witness the purge of Super Straight in real time. Okay. No, I'm talking about the big one. That was before that. I'm talking like 2016, I think it was, maybe 2016, 2017. I really hope it wasn't as long ago as 2015, but like it was right around the time I got married, like right after that sometime, which was in 2015. They just absolutely nuked that community. I'd been a member of it for 2 or 3 years, and I had been on Reddit for at least 5 years before that. So I was fairly well aware right before Amy Challenor. You're right. Hello.
Hi. Close the measure stone door.
Okay. Is nobody answering the door?
I haven't knocked yet.
Okay. Go tell them to see if the old lady is awake, will you? I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Thank you. It's always something. Old school turfs. Yeah, right. But so, this is some of the experiences, I guess, that have led me to the position where I am. Where, like, if you're going to come and tell me just blanketly that some community is toxic, I'm going to sit there and go, why are you saying that, though? Because if you think about it, a toxic community is an oxymoron in a lot of ways. Like, there's got to be something going on there that's not. There's got to be something positive and construct. It's got to be working for those people somehow, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, human beings are not just inherently self-destructive, Like, even if you're doing something that could be classified as self-destructive, you're doing it because it solves some other problem, right? You're not just going to sit and beat yourself over the head for no reason. But yeah. And that was what really, really, really absolutely made... I knew that community well. Okay? And they didn't actually really tolerate a whole lot of toxic bullshit. And police themselves fairly well. So, like, the idea that it was just a toxic cesspool of bigotry was so absurd to me. I knew that immediately, that's just not. So that's like this. That no, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm not a bigot. Like, it wasn't even that. Okay, like it was just like laughably ridiculous. If you'll forgive the term, trumped up charges, right? Clearly, what is considered toxic bullshit is the idea men can't be and do whatever they want whenever they want. Right, yeah, exactly. There was some serious misogyny to that, for sure. But really, ever since then, my stance on this has just become more and more clear to me, which I don't think everyone reacted to that way, unfortunately. I think a lot of people were really, really thrown by that, honestly. But, so it did. It sort of dispersed us to the right and the left, almost. You want to look at it that way. The long-term, like, repercussions of that. And I obviously I'm going to have to still object to this trans nonsense, but I'm also not like, I'm sorry, I am a housewife basically. And like, I'm not going to sit here and like, that's just not, I know it's over there. I live in Tennessee. Oh, I know it's over there. That's not the answer. No. Like, just throwing, and this is what frightens me, is the idea that just rejecting the changes, the modernity, all of it, altogether, because it's gone too far. That's what worries me. That idea. No, that's probably not a good idea. We don't want that. We, as feminists, and certainly as women, I would think, do not want that. And that was really the message that I was going for in this week's video, is that reality is not a right-wing talking point. They do not get to take credit for being right that sex exists. No. Not while I'm around. No. Yeah, I see some people who have wandered so far to the right, with the first push being the gender crap. Right. And I mean, we're going to talk about another thing that used to be considered like a fallacy in any kind of conspiracy theory and is now like the slippery slope. That's literally what that is. I'm sorry, like in action. Right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong there. Biology isn't a right-wing conservative position. That is what I'm saying. But here, especially in the United States, they are positioning things that way. Aren't they? Which is so terrifying. I am not going to sit by and let the right wing take credit for reality. Fuck that. That's what conservative religious types always want to do. And this is just a new way of them to do their favorite thing, and I hate that. The left has set that up so perfectly for them. Once you create a reason to trust Matt Walsh, you create people who would start thinking he's not an imbecile. Yeah, lucky for me, he said that thing at the beginning of that What is a Woman movie about how all his sons need is like a gun and a pep talk or some dumb shit like that. My husband and I were watching that together, and that's literally like in the first 2 minutes, maybe the first 60 seconds of that film. And my husband stood up and almost walked away from it. That made him so angry. So, yeah, Matt Walsh is a dumbass, a sexist dumbass. He is sexist in both directions. A dumbass, you know. We did not pay to watch that movie, by the way. We did pirate it because. What kind of old books? Holy shit, it's almost 2:00. You guys, how did that happen? Oh my god. And like, I know I was gone for a couple of minutes here and there, but like, wow, this time has really flown. Thank you guys so much. This is so much fun. Yeah, it's depressing how many women have been sucked into conservatism, and it's all on the basis of them stealing feminist work. We were speaking out against trans decades before they caught up. Yeah. Madame Curie and Narnia. Oh, wow, that's a bit of a spread. Yeah, it's almost 11. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to be bad and smoke one more cigarette, and then I'll go. Okay? Because this is fun. We're having fun. And it's all on topic. I mean, I think maybe I actually hit a point this week. Like, I always try to make a point. You know. But. Yeah, I ran into gender critical thought in feminist studies, and we were assigned people like Mary Daly. I still have Pure Lust and Gyne Ecology on my shelf. Nice. See, I never went to school for that kind of thing, and here's a reason to go do that sort of stuff, is it gives you an opportunity to do that sort of reading. Like, literally, When the fuck am I going to do that? When the fuck, I might have had time 20 years ago. I sure as shit don't now. But it literally just sets aside a time frame for you to do that sort of reading and educate yourself if you want to. If nothing else. Are you in British Columbia? I'm in Nova Scotia. It's almost 3 p.m. Washington State, yeah. You guys are not too far apart, I guess. Yeah. Out on the West Coast. I probably went to university one of the last years you could get an education of that kind of thing from a lens that isn't TRH gender nonsense, but actually about women. Right. And I've also read some things about how exactly that's been accomplished. From things written by people who were there, and went through it. Because again, I have to come to respect the kind of sort of perspective of no, wait, I'm old enough to know better. I was that, tell me of the before times, like I want to know that shit. Neither had I. I have a library of books on feminist analysis and theory. Yeah. Something Island, VI, is to the northwest of us, Victoria, with Victoria being about 75 miles from us. Nice. Nova Scotia is on the opposite end of Canada from British Columbia. Not so close. Oh. I thought you had said you were in British Columbia. I thought maybe that was just what we were talking about, the fires. Or maybe that was somebody else and I'm confused. I'm sorry. That's possible too. You're right. I do know where Nova Scotia is. My girlfriend and I visited stuff. I'm not going to attempt all the abbreviations because I already sound foolish. I also had a few classes on gay lesbian history, so it's funny to think how much of a mess of a racial discussion on that is now. Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine what they teach about gay history. Like, I don't, I live in BC. I brought it up. Sorry for being confusing. Okay. I am trying. I swear. Oh, you guys are fun. Keeping me on my toes. Oh, hey, baby. Love you. Managed to hang out just long enough. You could, it's not quite 2 o'clock. Not by this clock. Anyway, now they don't really teach gay history. It's LGBTQ plus history. And so how hard is that to type? I never type that. It occurs to me. That's like kind of all over the place, isn't it? And several gay historical figures are referred to as trans because they cross-dressed or erased entirely. Did I eat my breakfast? I did. Thank you. And I'm sitting here drinking my water. See? Yeah. The transing, the posthumous transing of historical figures. Oh God, is that disgusting. Anyway, it's busy as fuck. Just gonna swing by and throw down a light for you. Thank you, baby. Love you. Also, people don't know that the doctors that came up with it we know as transition were homophobic crazy people trying to cure it. Right, yeah, no, yeah. Runaway Siren had a good video about that. Right? That's Runaway Siren. Everybody should go watch her videos too because they're good. Also, people, that's because Jennifer Pritzker is the founder. Right. Yeah. University of Victoria Trans Board Chairman. That's funny. I know the Pritzkers are all over Ohio. Or Illinois. Sorry, Illinois. It's surreal talking to someone who thinks those doctors were trailblazers who loved queer people and not mad scientists trying to eradicate them. Yeah. Yeah. And I've said this before, and I'm probably going to say it twice because apparently there's an ad coming up. Thank you in advance for anybody who has to sit through that nonsense. We're getting another one because we went past the hour. Ooh. All of those surgeries were done before the existence of immunosuppressant drugs. Which, for anyone who's ever had a transplant, you know what that means. It means that any of those transplants they gave those people was a fucking death sentence. Okay? Because your body is going to reject whatever that transplant is as a foreign object. All right? And try to fight it off like a disease. It's so. Many of them hated their own gayness. Yeah. Internalized self-hate is a thing of any flavor. Homophobia, misogyny, whatever it is. Like, I feel like most people would agree, if they're being honest, with the oh my god, sometimes I just hate myself. Yeah. Everybody feels that way sometimes. Oh my god. Money from autogynephile military dude in a dress. Now we know the wokest province of Canada. Yeah, right. Interesting psychological profile that must be, eh? Fucking sociopathic. I feel like a common misunderstanding is that the nature of sexuality being a thing you can't control. A lot of people have issues with their sexuality that are not entirely caused by outside parties. Okay. Can you expand on that a little bit? Because to a certain extent, I mean, you love who you love. You know, you don't choose to be gay, you don't choose to be straight, etc. Right? Would that be maybe part of why a lot of people have issues with their sexuality that are not caused entirely by outside parties? You know, maybe you just don't want to be gay for whatever reason, or maybe you don't want to be straight for whatever reason. I don't know. Oh, yeah, right. Because being attracted to men is a pain in the ass. At the very least. The idea, the only reason a person would have an issue with their sexuality is because other people do. Yeah. Right. Erases that we actually have opinions on what we want for ourselves in our lives. Right. Yeah. True. And it sort of takes it back to free will, you know. Our beloved will o' the wisp, you know, that sort of exists, but also doesn't. Right? I mean, it does, in that we have to behave as if it does, and it does in that your behavior affects your life course. It does. If you sit inert and do nothing, your life is going to be shit. Right? So that, you know, we have to act like free will exists because to an extent it does. Like some people have an issue with being gay because they'd like to have bio kids, want to date people willing to cook and commit, a variety of personal reasons. Yeah, and like I say, I have actually heard people express the idea that being a straight woman can be a precarious position indeed. Okay, so because yeah, lest we forget, what's the number one leading cause of death of young women? Some kind of domestic partner abuse, right? I chose the crazy cat lady spinster lifestyle, loving every damn minute. People annoy me too much to partner with one. Yeah, right on, right on. It makes you happy, go for it. Truly. Because that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm, you know, free will is a thing in that the choices we make in our lives matter and in that they have effects, you know, on us, on the people around us, on the world around us. So, I don't know. The deterministic element to the universe, I guess, is not an excuse to not utilize the tool you've been given, tools you've been given, right? I don't love the framing that the only reason a person who is gay might not be a fan is internalizing what other people think is no self-generate. Yeah. 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 True. True. We understand that people who aren't gay have issues with their sexuality based on how it can conflict with what they want for their lives. True. All very good points. I hadn't got this far yet. Yeah. Because this is not necessarily something that I've had to face in my own life, you know what I mean? So, I definitely see what you're saying. It's all about, and it's a good example, I guess, of how, and you do need to respect somebody's perspective, at the very least, about themselves, and that is a pretty fundamental, thing. That's a TRA argument, and I hate that because, their fundamental thing that they're talking about is like fictional. So that's annoying. Nah. Did we just demonstrate perhaps the confusion that they've managed to generate between gay rights and trans rights? Is that what we did? Because I'm not going to get confused on that point, but I can see how someone might, especially if you have someone from Harvard telling you about. I mean, really, the I don't know. It is very popular sometimes to sit and make fun of or hate on people who don't get it, and I'm just like, I don't know. I can kind of see, especially if you're just not, either too busy or just not inclined to think about these things that deeply. I can see why you would just be like, oh, okay, the doctor said so. I'm just, heaven forfend people trust doctors at all. I think it's the third time I've used that phrase in this live stream, so you're welcome for the snobbery there. I'm sorry. I don't want to say God forbid because I don't want to talk about God. I don't know. Like, the way Christianity and stuff is just baked into the English language, sometimes it's like, I don't like it. It's really wild that we just can't trust doctors anymore because corporate interests have gotten so much control. And I saw a video of a fellow who is a doctor talking about how there's sort of a reckoning coming for the medical field in that way because they're so corrupt. They've been bought out. They've sold out. Straight up, plain and simple. My motto is choose cats, not people. I swear everyone will be happier in the end. Cats equal utopia. Well, that would be the end, darling, because there would be no further generation. I'm sorry. Some of us feel this impulse to like do that whole procreation thing. And, I'm not even saying that to be snobby. It literally is just some people feel that and some people don't. And that's fine. Right? Like, I like cats too. In a different world, in another life, I could totally see myself doing that. I'm just not that person. Man. That's your truth. More power to you. More power to you. Shit. For people. Scott. Dad. Doggone it. Maybe it's for the best. Sorry, I'm cynical, remember? Yeah, and I feel like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm cynical in saying that too. That like, no, there just isn't a right lifestyle for everybody. That just doesn't exist. There just is no one-size-fits-all perfect way to live. This is not a thing. It's hard to find where the boundary is between the reality that people have their own perspectives and the reality some people's perspective is based in legit delusion. For people, right? Right. That boundary can be difficult to, but so that to me makes that one of the most interesting conversations we could be having right now on the larger stage, and people just don't seem to want to have that conversation, right? We've just decided that no one's lived experience is questionable, which that's just not true, and I try to be optimistic about the crisis, the absolute crisis that's going on in psychology right now. Like some people don't live as lunatics. Right, yeah. Right. It's actually sort of difficult, I think, to maintain that on the long scale, like long term. Basically living as a lunatic is like not good for you. And I can definitely think of one or two historical examples of somebody who like was bright and shiny and charismatic, and then over time, sort of deteriorated, and people couldn't quite figure out why. It's because they were wrong, drastically, badly wrong about whatever it was they were doing. The human race will just merge with the cats into a superior race of fur people, but then you'll have to like the people. Will you still not like the people because they're half people? I'm sorry. I'm being silly. 2/3 of therapists are crackpots. Always has been that way. Thundercats, ho! Right? It's actually a childhood dream of mine come true too. So, yes, of course. No, but so living as a lunatic, and then I think I was gonna say it's also disheartening because on the one hand, like the field is wide open. Psychology, like you got a theory, they should be welcoming all comers at this point because they are out at sea, right? With no oars and no sails, and they are dead in the water, right? But like, so on the one hand, that's hopeful for somebody like me who's kind of been sitting over here in the corner chewing on these ideas for years, going, I don't know about all that, you guys, So deep down, it's what we all want. It is, yeah, truly, obviously, cat people. Yes, that's what we all secretly want. Screw becoming a man. Rare, right? Oh my god. I don't know. I just do. But like, gosh, where was I? Living as lunatics. But yeah, because it's also disheartening. Because on the other hand, it's not like psychology is not onto anything, right? As far as the difference between eccentricity and disorder, I think they might be onto something there. Because and I come back to this in philosophy too, over and over again. The idea that the difference between something strange and something bad is whether or not it is destructive to you and the people around you. Women wearing cat ears. Yes, the cat people are superior. By the way, chaton. Chaton means kitten. Thank you. That's cute. Yes, I've seen both the 1942 and 1982 version of Cat People. Oh, what is that? Is that science fiction or what is that? I don't know that one. That would that improve humanity? I don't know. There'd be a lot more introverts, I feel like. So, possibly. Sci-fi horror. Okay. Yeah, that was gonna be my guess. Actually, that was gonna be my guess, but I didn't want to go full. I was hoping maybe it wasn't a horror movie. That's not what we're talking about, right? 1982 version was a lot better. Duly noted. If I ever get a chance to watch that, I just might. So funny. I'm trying to stay on topic about how kind of impossible, because all it does is destroy your life, and all y'all can talk about is cat people. I love it so much. The lead actress made your pulse race. Well, that's probably why she was the lead actress, Scott. She probably had that effect on other people as well. Yeah. Ever seen Sleepwalkers by Stephen King? Think about it. That could be you. What? No. What is that? It should be me because I should be walking away from this right now because god damn, it's 2:15, y'all. And it is starting to get genuinely hot out here. Sleepwalkers are cat people. Oh, okay. Cool. Stephen King wrote a book about chamomile. That dude's done everything. Like, he's done a couple of things a lot, but he's also done a lot of other stuff. Like, you know, it's funny how he did end up kind of stuck in like the hometown he grew up in. A lot of his fiction, right? Like, that's sort of interesting. But also, you have stuff like the evil killer automobile, and the random evil killer dog, and like the random evil killer teenage girl, and like, you know, come to think of it, there's a theme going on there. I see a theme. I'm seeing a theme emerge, perhaps. The random killer hotel, right? The, let's see, what else? No, I know. Like, The Stand is a lot more esoteric than that, right? And like, um, you know, he's not just a guy who writes horror novels about random killer insert thing, but a lot of them really do sort of boil down to that, don't they? Like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Yeah. And I guess a lot of them are based on his nightmares, so, you know, fair enough. Oh yeah, Cat's Eye is what I'm trying to think of. That was like a short story collection, and then they made it into like, man, that's some clout. To have a random like collection of 3 short stories just sort of turned into a random film, like, the cat people did kill regular people, but for food, so it's fine. No, I almost ran over a squirrel with my car today, and I was horrified. So, like, I don't know if I could be down with killing people for food. Yeah. If hunting humans is involved, that's why I don't want to be a vampire. Okay, that's why I decided at like the age of 12 that I was not down with the idea of becoming a vampire somehow. Like, that was very popular for a while. Everybody wanted to be a vampire, like, literally. And I'm not even talking about Twilight. This is easily 15 years earlier, right? No. I'm talking Interview with the Vampire. I'm talking Lost Boys. I'm talking that shit, right? There's a little bit of sparkle going on, but it's mostly, you know, nighttime caves and, you know, bonfires and shit. Poor squirrel. Totally different scenario. No, I know. But I'm just not a hunter, I guess is what I'm saying. If hunting is involved, you know, necessary to, like, no. And that was, you know, I've known some crazy people, and like this whole altered identity that emanates like from your imagination thing is not a new concept to me at all. Let me just say that. I grew up knowing adults who used to talk about having things like, you know, animal souls, or, you know, I feel like I was a vampire in a past life. Like, I'm not even shitting you. As a kid, hearing things like this from adults is a trip and a half, right? Like, okay. Oh, I see what you're squirrel killing is heinous people, though. Yeah. No, I'm just saying, for me personally, I'm just not a killer. I'm just not, you know. You don't want to become a vampire because Buffy will slay me. I don't know. If Sarah Michelle Gellar came up and attacked me, I'm not sure what I would do. I'd probably just laugh. I'd be like, ooh, do Cruel Intentions, you know, like. No. But I've known some people who believe some crazy shit about themselves, even as a kid, even growing up, you know. And so I had to figure out a long time ago, I guess. I started this journey personally to like figure out the line between what is personality and what is reality. A long time ago, maybe, is what it is. You just landed. Oh, hey. Yeah, we ran over today because we've been having so much fun. It's been really a super cool chat. Thank you guys so much. I feel like that doesn't even... Those words ring hollow. They get thrown around so much, but sincerely, thank you. I don't know what else to say. Because words fail sometimes. sad, but true. And I guess we got those measurements for our new doors. Yay. Like a couple years ago, we bought a door, like a back door with a dog door in it, and they absolutely destroyed it. Like, so now the back door just has a hole in it. This big rectangular hole. You know, I don't know if any of y'all have been experienced with buying shit like that, but oh my god, they're ungodly expensive. Like a door. You'd think that'd be fairly beast. No. Good God, those things are expensive. So, you know, there's something that makes me feel middle-aged. I am excited to get doors. Legitimately. Imagine a 20-year-old person saying that. You'd think they'd lost their mind. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's why we sit out here. That's why I love to sit out here. A little bit. I am... The big garden is over there in the backyard. We have some raised beds that you can't see. And I'm not going to show them to you because my pile of crap is over there too. But, this here, underneath the apple, this is strawberries. This is an apple tree. We have a couple little fruits this year. And that over there is a peach tree, which I think I might even have a peach. Like, I just got that one last year. So I wasn't actually expecting her to fruit yet this year, but it's pretty exciting. Probably the nerdiest thing I'm excited about. I don't know. But, you know, it's just little things like I was saying where my feeling of just existential emptiness has dissipated a whole lot. It's because of stupid, quirky shit like that, mostly. It's the cumulative effect of just letting myself be myself and, like, enjoy the shit that I enjoy. You know, and it adds up. Peaches, yeah, it's Tennessee, baby. Hell yeah, this sun is bright as fuck. I'm going to take advantage of it somehow. Right, yeah. How cool is that? You know, I planted it and it's fruiting and it just, how is that not cool? You know, I understand that that's not everybody's thing. And like I was saying earlier, many people enjoy video games. I'm not sure what they're for. Yeah, takes all kinds, I guess. You know, whatever. And it's just little, like I say, cumulative stuff like that has taught me in my life. Like, there's just no one right lifestyle for everybody. There just fucking isn't. And you need, I guess is what I'm saying, to not just give yourself, but everyone else should probably give one another the room to explore and enjoy whatever random shit you want, basically. And I don't see why that's a problem. Why is that a problem? Why is that a problem? Anyone have any theories on that? Y'all some smart people. Like, really. We seem to have come a long way in that department in a lot of ways, like, as a species. And yet there's plenty of things that conspire to keep us just borderline terrified on a daily basis, right? So, I'm just spitballing, you know. I'm just trying to put stuff together. Which I will say one thing. Not wanting to look like a conspiracy theorist, so you don't just, like, have some epiphany and then pop out and say it and be like, blah, you know. That is kind of nice to have, you know. Thank you for sitting through the ads. Thank you, sincerely. I am going to have to go soon. I'm picking up, but I'm having so much fun. Oh, my gosh. Got some cherry tomatoes growing, but I got to grab some more veggies to plant. Grew fennel and rainbow chard last year that did well. Ooh, yeah. Excuse me. A lot of times grasses are, like, and I'm not saying this to downplay you. I'm saying this to like say, isn't it fun? Like grasses are actually shockingly easy to grow, right? Like, that's what I had started with years ago. First, it's just some lettuce, and like I planted a bunch of lettuce seeds, and like a bunch of lettuce came up, and I was like, holy shit, that was easy, We had good soil there too, though. I mean, that's one of the challenges here. Is it is on the side of a hill, and like we're basically just down to like grass and clay. Like right underneath the topsoil is clay. So not a whole lot of great garden. That's why the raised beds. That was a lot of it anyway. We just got tired of fighting with that. And they keep growing all season. Right, exactly. And it makes you wonder why everyone doesn't do that kind of thing. Let's like I say, maybe not everybody enjoys gardening. Okay, fine. Maybe not everybody enjoys that kind of thing. Okay, fine. I'm not saying abolish grocery stores, but like I also had that feeling of being just kind of strange out in my suburban backyard planting fucking lettuce. And I've had at least one person ask me, why don't you just go to the store? Like, why don't you just mind your business? And I guess it's like, that's not an earnest question. I don't know. That's like the question that can easily imply, well, that's dumb. You know what I mean? Like, why are you going to so much trouble for something so simple is what that says, I have to build a greenhouse to grow more options because the deer are brutal. Ooh, yeah. British Columbia, you said? Ooh. Well, oh my God. Imagine being a deer in a place that's prone to fire tornadoes. Yikes. Oh my God. Minding your business is always free. Just like lettuce after you planted it. You're right. Because like I say, though, it's the phrasing of the question and like the implication. It's that, okay, subtext. Like we were saying earlier. Because the question itself, why don't you just go to the store? Right? Could be an innocent question. But it's the subtext that clearly is communicated. Why are you going to so much trouble for something that could be so simple? Right? That's the implication there. That's the subtext. That shit is powerful. And it is an inherent part of human communication, which is just not inherently bad. Human communication is not inherently bad. Are we going to say that? Like, okay, well, we might as well just scrap the whole project then. Everybody strip off and kill one another. We're done. No, and that's where I find myself, like, sometimes the logical conclusions of, like, a lot of common modern ideas are so absurdly destructive. And I'm just like, whoa, why are we all going around? Oh, okay, life makes you do stuff. Great hanging out. Yeah, life makes me do stuff too. And I cannot believe it hasn't come for me yet. I'm kind of waiting for somebody to come and interrupt me and be like, hey, it's after 2:00. We were going to blah, blah, blah. Because I'm supposed to take my one to his friend's house today. And, oh gosh, at least one other thing. You know how it is. Really, it's a pretty day. It rained a little bit, but again, a temperate rainforest. That is just so damn cool. So damn cool. And it explains that. It explains the random roving thunderstorms that we do get. Like more often than you'd think. I don't know. Ugh. I lost my train of thought. I probably should go anyway. But somebody wants to remind me what I was ranting about. Perhaps I'll continue doing that. I don't know. where you live does look lovely. Oh yeah, thank you. It is. And it's, I mean, we're right on the edge of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which is a massive, you know, nature preserve essentially. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of natural beauty out here, and I try to do get out and appreciate it. We're in a temperate zone rainforest here. Yeah, right. I think we talked about that a couple weeks ago because I just, again, up there in the Pacific Northwest, I don't know. I think you tend to think of it more that way. But yeah, the Smoky Mountains are also a temperate rainforest. So that's pretty cool. And also, apparently, like, the most popular state national park in the country. I want to say I heard. Like, so it's beautiful, and like, there's commerce here. Okay. There are a couple little pockets around here tucked away in the hills that just absolutely reek of money. You would be surprised. Oh, and Dolly Parton is from like an hour from here, so yeah. But you know what? Bless that woman. She did her part to give back to that community. Holy crap. And then some. Like, she set that place up for life. Absolutely. Rainier is one of the most popular national parks in the U.S. You know, I think everyone probably believes that about the one that they live next to. I don't know. Like, as soon as I said that, I was like, that sounds silly. Like, surely Yosemite gets more visitors than we do. Surely the Grand Canyon gets more visitors than we do. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way when I grew up, I did not think of like, I don't know. I never really had any impression about this place before I came here, I guess. It sort of just managed to I associate Tennessee with the show Nashville. Right. But, and I don't know anything about that show, but I will say that Nashville's on the other end of the state, I believe, from us. You know, Tennessee's long and thin. We're over on the Virginia side. So the area around here is very hilly and foresty and just really, what you might think of right before you get to West Virginia. Like, it's not quite as, like, the town my husband's family is from over there. His dad is from a town in West Virginia that is built beside a cliff, between a river and a cliff. And it's, wow, We're not quite like that, but yeah, I don't know what that show is about, but this is not, I don't know. East Tennessee is not Nashville. I will say that. Whoa! Ah! Oh, I just had an umbrella land on my head. Is that a sign? It's time to go. I think it might be time to go. Oh, boy. Right, yeah. Probably closer to Aaron Thomas. Right, yeah. Was that Knoxville? You're probably, I read that already. My coffee's gone. Sad. Mm. No, I want to say Chattanooga. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I'm not super familiar with where every city in Tennessee is. I should be better about that. Like, I want to say Nashville's more west and Chattanooga's more south. Neither of them is appreciably close to us. Not to dox myself, but we're closer to Knoxville. If I had to name a major city, uh, don't come for me. Stayed on the air to warn everyone. Right. You told me about that a couple of weeks ago. Also, I think. And I just marvel at how you know all this stuff. But, yeah, no, we get like the nightly, the local news we get around here. Watch the newscast on YouTube. Wicked. I'm proud of her for being so brave, I guess, to do her job. We get the Knoxville news around here. That's what we get. I hear about Knoxville traffic all the time, and I never drive in it really. So that's fun. I mean, not all the time, but like the local nightly news, like that's our closest affiliate television station, I guess. Never been to Knoxville? It's nice. It's good for me to go there every so often to keep my chops up. You know what I mean? City driving and whatever. Because I'm from the big town. Tennessee is foreign territory. Yeah. Fair enough. Washington State is foreign territory for me. Like I say, I first I got was Spokane, and that was 20 years ago. So. It was beautiful, though. I'd go back. But unless you're independently wealthy, traveling, like, I don't know. Maybe that's just not who I am. I don't know. Traveling's hard. Isn't traveling hard? Like, in a good way. But, like, that shit's not easy, You've been to Spokane. It's a pretty area. Yeah. Lots of pine forests up there. Very pretty. And they have that, little river that runs through downtown. Very pretty. Traveling is hard. Okay. I know you've done a lot of it. And I was wondering if maybe it's harder for some people than others. I don't know. I think that might be true, but just in general. Definitely not saying it's not worth it. As I said before, I plan on doing some myself at some point. The word travel comes from the word French word for travail. Yeah. Right. I think in French the word travail actually means work. Right? There's a fun little French one fact for you. Vocabulary. Like, je travaille à la bibliothèque. I work at the library. My accent's terrible, but I make no claims to be French. So there's that. On the other hand, I remembered that all these years. Yippee. No, like I say, I've been writing a book that's set in England. Coincidentally, they speak English there. I don't know that would matter because this idea fully dropped in my lap, fully formed, essentially like 2 years ago. So I didn't say to myself, I know what I'll do. I will, force myself to travel to the one other country in the world that I'm definitely not going to probably learn how. No, that's not fair. Lots of people speak English these days, but also, I don't know. That'd be a fun aspect to it if it was there. Like, oh well. Lunchtime? Okay. You have a good week. I'm going to go here in a minute anyway. I'm just kind of hanging out because I'm having fun and I can, you know. That's kind of strange. Like I say, I have been waiting to be interrupted for, 40 minutes now. I should visit Mount Rainier. You know, yeah, that's been on my list for a while. The whole active volcano thing is intimidating, I admit. I require food and also need to do laundry, so I have to roll too. It was good to see you. Good to see you too. Maybe we'll catch each other next week, you guys. Have a good week. Thanks for coming. Thanks for the great chat. It was super fun. I'll see you guys later. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to go. So, and anybody else, I will see y'all next time. Sweet. Try to be back next week. Sweet. Awesome sauce. Have a good one, guys. Ta-ta.